One of the things that I hear all the time from people who want to start a YouTube channel is, I would love to do it, but I work a 9 to 5. And I completely understand that feeling because over the past 5 years, I have building my channel while working a full-time job too. The truth is, it's absolutely possible to do both, but it's not easy. And there are some really honest truths about what it actually means to be a content creator while working a full-time job that you need to be honest with yourself about first. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the 7 things that you need to understand before you start your YouTube channel while working a full-time job. The first thing that you need to realize before starting your channel is that you need to know your why. So your why determines the motivation, the ambition, the strategy, and the time that you're gonna put into creating your channel. If you're just starting it for fun or as a hobby or something creative or something new to try, then you definitely don't have to put as much time and energy, thought, and money into it. If you are starting it as a means to eventually monetize it and build it and you wanna take it really seriously, then you're definitely going to need to approach it with more intention and with more consistency. I just want to also add a caveat here that if your sole purpose of starting a YouTube channel is just to make money, it's probably never going to work and you're probably not going to be successful with that, because it takes a lot of time and energy and years to make anything from YouTube. And even once you're monetized, the income is not a stable income. There's multiple ways that you can monetize your channel. You're not going to get rich from AdSense on YouTube, and you're probably going to burn yourself out because you just don't have the passion to do it. So it really needs to be a motivation for more than just thinking that you're gonna make a ton of money from being on YouTube. Once you figure out the why, the next thing that you want to do is have realistic expectations and an understanding about what it actually takes to have a YouTube channel. Because I think that this is something that people really underestimate, and there's actually a couple different pieces of this puzzle in just this one section. First, you want to figure out how much time you actually have to put into YouTube. I talk about time audits and doing that in my life audit series. If you don't know where your time is going now without YouTube, then you don't actually know if you even have time to create a YouTube channel or be able to strategize or create systems to build a channel. For me, this means that I have to wake up early on my work from home days, and before I even start my 9 to 5 job, I give my full energy and attention to my personal brand and my channel. So I typically work between an hour and an hour and a half in the morning around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I also typically spend my weekends working on my channel as well. So another thing that you need to factor in and consider is that having a YouTube channel is more than just filming. It is an entire process. It's ideation, research, script writing, filming, editing, creating thumbnails, doing SEO research, publishing, writing descriptions. I've started documenting my process for this, and it does take a lot of time and there are a lot of steps involved. Having a YouTube channel also comes with a skill set that you need to have. So if you've never edited before, that is probably going to be one of the biggest learning curves. There's also shot composition, storytelling, lighting, public speaking, talking to a camera, and that's also another really big learning curve, is getting comfortable with being on camera and comfortable talking to the camera. So your early videos are definitely not going to be perfect. They're probably going to be pretty terrible if you've never done any video production experience before. There's a lot of patience involved while you build that skill set and while you build that knowledge, and that's just the reality of taking something like this on. So the third tip is that you have to accept that sacrifices are going to be a part of this. Creating content, having a YouTube channel while working a 9 to 5 means you're gonna have to make some hard choices. It means choosing editing your YouTube channel over going out and hanging out with your friends. It means cutting out things in your life that are no longer necessary, reprioritizing things just so you can fit YouTube in. It also means protecting your time and having boundaries around when you have decided to work on your YouTube channel. I know for me at first that this was hard because I felt silly saying, oh yeah, I can't hang out because I already have plans to work on my YouTube channel this weekend, or not picking up the phone calls while I'm like in a focus session on trying to get a video done. But having those boundaries and setting that time to work on something that I'm really passionate about and I love doing has really paid off long term. It doesn't mean that these things are going to happen all the time and that every weekend is just going to be all about YouTube and you're never going to have a life outside of working on your channel or going to your 9 to 5. But at some point, these things are going to happen. So if you're not willing to have those trade-offs or make time for it or protect the time that you do make for YouTube, then it's probably not realistic for you to start a YouTube channel. Tip number 4 is that being organized is not an option. It is a must-have. You have to be organized to run a YouTube channel. You'll have to create systems to run your YouTube channel. So that might look like how you organize your footage and your folders on your computer. You need to have a place where all your ideas live. You need to have a place where your scripts live. You need to have an external hard drive to move all your footage off when you're done with a video. If everything is just living in your head or living all over the place in notebooks or in your notes section on your phone, or some things are in Google Docs and some things are in Notion, you're just going to get confused and you're going to get frustrated and you're not going to be able to consistently put out videos or have your videos done in a timely manner, and things are just not going to overall function well. This also includes a general workflow of how you're going to produce videos. What days are you going to film? What days are you going to edit? When are you going to be making thumbnails? What's your upload day? Typically, most creators, including myself, have the same upload day and time every single week. So those are things that you need to think about and factor into your schedule, so that way there's no friction when you're creating videos. It just runs smooth like a system. And instead of relying on sheer ambition or motivation or your energy to get YouTube done while you're working a full-time job, it'll just flow into your routine. As you continue to do it, it's just gonna feel like second nature to you at that point once you establish those systems and workflows. And this isn't gonna be perfect at first. A lot of this is gonna be about experimentation, what works, what doesn't work, and eventually you're gonna figure out what works for you. But as we process through life, things change in our life and things shift and come up. So this process that you create is probably going to be evolving as you evolve as well. I personally have an account, a Google account with an email that's specifically for my channel. So I store all of my scripts in that Google Docs account. And then in ClickUp, which is kind of like a project management application software, I have a full-blown checklist of all the steps for my channel, just so I don't ever forget a step when I create a video. I view every video as a project. I also created a B-roll archive on my external hard drive and on my phone. So that way when I'm doing these type of videos, talking head videos, I can just pull up that archive and grab footage that I need that fits into whatever video I'm doing. So I have everything categorized. I have a cats folder. I have a 9 to 5 folder that's like clips of me working at my desk. So over time, I've created systems and processes that have just made creating YouTube while working a 9 to 5 so much easier. I'm still implementing new things and trying to pass through barriers. I think right now my hardest thing is figuring out thumbnails. I don't have a great process when it comes to taking thumbnail photos and making it easier for me to figure out what I'm gonna do for a thumbnail. And so that's something that I'm trying to figure out. Why is this so hard for me? So even now, after doing this for 5 years, I still have certain areas of the creation process that I struggle with that I'm trying to figure out, that have a lot of friction, especially around working my 9 to 5. Tip 5 is to get clear on what type of content you're posting, keeping it in scope, and making sure that whatever you choose is sustainable long term. So at a basic level, you need to know who your audience is. And when I say know who your audience is, I mean their demographics. Demographics are things like age, gender, where they live. You also need to know their pain points or problems. So for example, on my channel, when I was publishing the Unemployed Diaries series in 2024, the pain points of my audience at that time were they were unemployed, they were laid off, they were looking for work, or they were job searching. And some of the people that were commenting, they weren't even unemployed, they were just job searching and miserable in their jobs and unhappy, so they were looking for something else, and they found my content to be relatable. In general, I think it sometimes can be hard to figure out what your audience's pain points or problems are. So one way that you can figure that out is by doing a poll on social media, Instagram, etc., asking a question about what people are struggling with in a certain area. And I could do a whole video talking about customer pain points. So if you do want to know more about how to figure out what pain points are or how to go about doing the research to discover that, let me know in the comments, because we can definitely chat more about it in the comments. You also want to know what type of video formats you're going to use. Are you going to do talking head, informational, educational videos like this one? Do you just want to be in complete vlog channel? Do you want to do something like a podcast interview style video? Are you going to do YouTube shorts only? So that's something that you need to think about, and you can do a combination of them. I do that on my channel. I do talking head and vlog. And I think that those two can work really well together, but you need to have like a general idea of what type of videos that you want to put out. The last thing that you need to understand at a basic level is what value are you bringing to your audience? And once you know the pain point of your audience, your value should really be the solution to their pain point. So recently in my work life diaries, I've been talking about going through burnout at work and being in a very long period of burnout. So in those videos, the way that I add value is to give tips or insight into how I'm dealing with the burnout, how I'm processing it, how I'm overcoming it, how I'm moving out of it. And so if other people are going through something similar or going through the same thing I am, not only does it make them feel like, okay, well, I'm not alone in my struggles, other people are going through it too, which adds value of a sense of community. It also may inspire them or give them an idea of how they can deal with the burnout or deal with the struggles that they're dealing with as well. If you're doing this purely as a hobby, your audience, your value, your video formats are gonna matter a lot less. I can't talk about this without talking about niche or niche, whatever. I say niche. Everybody talks about that in every video about how to start a YouTube channel. I'm not here to say that you need to completely niche down to a very specific thing. I am going to say that everything that you post should be in the same category and have the same scope. So for example, if one week you post a baking video and then the next week you post a video about fitness and the week after that you post a video about your career, you're going to confuse the algorithm and you're never going to grow. So everything needs to be in the same lane. For my channel, I have content pillars. So my content pillar is career, strategy, and growth, like having agency in your career. So even a video like this, how to start a YouTube channel while working a 9-to-5, I would still consider that in that pillar. So the next pillar would be self-growth and learning how to become the best version of yourself. So that would be my life audit videos and my resets. And then the third pillar, which is kind of an overarching umbrella, is just cozy productivity. So that just means that a lot of my vlogs and a lot of my videos have a cozy but productive aspect to it. So I'm not hustle culture. I'm also not slow living. I'm somewhere in the middle. Everything I do on my channel typically has to fall into one of those three categories or it doesn't go on my channel. And early on, I posted tons of videos that were all over the place, and I was essentially throwing darts at a dartboard just to see what stuck. Some of the videos popped off, but it really just confused the algorithm. So videos like morning and evening routines, the skincare videos, they don't really move my channel, and they don't really get views at all. So those are things that I don't do anymore because they don't really add any growth or value or return on investment to my channel. Not only that, but from a personal level, they didn't really fully align with who I am now or what I want to be known for or being sustainable long term. So if you're posting something just for fun or just to post it and it pops off, once you get a video that pops off, that's essentially what the algorithm thinks that your channel is about. So anything that's way outside of that realm, they're not gonna push out to the audience, to the algorithm. So you need a North Star. You need to know what's in scope, what's out of scope. And if an idea doesn't align with that, toss it, throw it out the window, get rid of it. Tip number 6 is that you do not have to post every week or twice a week to grow on YouTube. I feel like there is a misconception that if you post every week or twice a week that your YouTube is gonna blow up. However, if your videos are garbage, they are never going to blow up. YouTube rewards click-through rate or CTR and average viewer duration AVD. That's what the algorithm rewards. And I know that you might be thinking, but Rachel, it says that if I want to get monetized on YouTube, I have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Yes, that is true. So in that case, do subscribers matter? Yes, but do you know how you get there? Do you know how to get to that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours? The CTR and average viewer duration has to be high. You are not going to get there unless you focus on those 2 data points. So I'm going to end my rant on YouTube analytics and go back to my original point. But you really need to just be posting whatever is sustainable for you. So for me, I am making an effort in 2026 to post at least 3 times a month. So far, I haven't met that. I've only posted 2 times a month. I'm still shooting for 3. 3 times a month seems doable for me if my life and other things are like on a neutral plane and not blowing up. Like if things at work are crazy, I'm not gonna hit 3 videos. But there's no one size fits all when it comes to the schedule. It's really just about what's going to work for you. And if you put yourself in a box that I have to do YouTube every week, you're going to get burnt out. Your videos are probably going to be garbage, especially when you first start learning how to film and how to edit and have a YouTube channel. Do what you think is best for you. And when you're first starting out, how often you post might not even matter that much because you're just putting videos out so YouTube can get to know you, and you're just gonna start getting put into the algorithm. So it probably isn't going to matter like for the first couple times you post. This is where you're going to have to ask, do I actually have time to do this? Can I do this without hating my life? Can I do this and still have a life outside of work and YouTube? So once you answer those questions, you should know how often you're going to be able to post. The last tip number 7, and I wanted to add this in here because I have had people ask me this several times. What if your employer or coworkers find out about YouTube? And my answer is, who cares? So what? So what if they find out about it? As long as you're not using your 9-to-5 work time to be working on your YouTube channel and you're not using your work computer or your work phone, it really doesn't matter that you have a YouTube channel. You want to make sure that whatever you're talking about isn't spilling company proprietary information like their knowledge, or that your YouTube channel is something that would be in direct competition with your company. That's something that you want to consider before you start posting content on YouTube. But in general, I don't really think it matters. So for me personally, I have my YouTube channel content creation listed as a job on my resume because there's a lot of transferable skills and knowledge that I have learned from this channel. And I also think that depending on what type of roles you're applying to or what type of companies you're applying to, having a personal brand on your resume can help you stick out from other people because it shows that you can commit to doing something outside of work that, to be honest, takes a lot of time and energy and planning and organization and project management to do. But I understand that everybody probably is not comfortable putting that on their resume. If someone at work asks me about my channel, I answer it honestly. or if they ask for a link to my channel, I give it to them because I don't have anything to hide. But everybody at my job knows. My managers know, my coworker knows, my director knows, and the COO, whoever is pretty far at the top knows that I have a YouTube channel. I have no shame in having a YouTube channel. I also post on LinkedIn too. So all of my managers, my old managers, coworkers, colleagues will see my content if they are connected with me on LinkedIn, and sometimes some of the videos I upload onto LinkedIn as well if they're relevant to career advice. Ultimately, you need to do whatever you're comfortable with. I don't think that anybody needs to go out of their way to tell their employer or their coworkers that you have a YouTube channel unless you want to. Some employers may feel threatened by outside monetization efforts. So you just need to do whatever's right for you at your discretion. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that creating content while working a 9-to-5 isn't about doing everything perfectly or doing it all at once or having overnight success. It's about being honest with yourself about your time, your energy, and what you actually want to get out of starting a YouTube channel. And you don't need confidence to start. The confidence comes from starting. You don't need a perfect plan. You're gonna figure it out as you go. So if you've been sitting on an idea for a channel, or waiting for the right moment to start, or waiting for the right time with your 9-to-5, let this be the sign that you don't need permission to start. You just need to start where you are with what you have in this moment right now and let it evolve from there. If you found this video helpful and you want to hear more about my experience as a small creator here on YouTube, I recommend watching my video, How YouTube is Changing My Life with Less Than 1,000 Subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to connect with you in the next video.